So this is described in-game the Hotaka, a powerful battlecruiser design based on concepts created in Japan in response to the ambitious US shipbuilding program of 1919. She was intended to be a ship of approximately 50,000 tons, capable of 30 knots, and armed with guns of 410mm. However, the Washington Naval Conference prevented the implementation of these designs. So that's the in-game description. So 8 of these 410mm guns, and you can see here very similar in terms of design to all of the current batch of Tier 9 Japanese battleships. Isen, Adatara, all of these. In terms of armor layout, 32mm plating, bow section upper and lower. There is an extended fore-end armor belt of 229. We take off the torpedo protection, 32mm. Casemate armor is 305. Also, extended aft end armor belt of 225, which this is quite strong. This is very nice while kiting away. Aft end 32mm. The deck is in different sections, but 32mm plating. There is extended protection here of 100mm, 102mm, sorry. 102. Same here, 102. But the surface deck armor is 32mm. If we look at the Citadel armor, you can see there is an element of sloped internal plating, armor deck slope. The Warship is 280, 102, 89, 102, 89, and 102. It alternates between 102 and 89 here to the different section. And it runs virtually submerged, running from front turret to the rear turret. Warship on the stern is weaker, but considering you have all of these very nice 250mm plating on both sides, you literally have to get it at a very direct straight angle to get at that rear Warship. In any case, we'll quickly look. Now remember, this is in testing. This is an experimental ship. We've looked at the armor. Hit points 99,300. Quite high for a Tier 9 Japanese battleship. Remember, experimental ship. 99k, and it also gets a very, very strong repair party. These heavy repair teams. 4 of them. 950 hit points per second for almost 50 seconds. I think we did, was this just over 47k? I think it's just over 47k in potential light damage that can be repaired. So very, very strong heals if you're just getting fire spammed and hit with light damage. You can repair up to, I believe it's just over 47k potential per heal. It's very strong. I'll come back to this in a second at the burst fire while we look at the main battery. So main battery is 8 of these 410mm guns. Got 2 twin mounted here, super firing on the bow. Another 2 turrets here. Essentially almost super firing as well. They're just on different levels. So 8 of these 410mm guns. These have a 29-second reload, 21.8km range, max dispersion of 258, and you get high explosive and armor piercing. But there is a big but. You get the burst fire and modified shells. Click this, it'll show you. Your reload will then be increased by 19 seconds to 48.4. Your max firing range, so your guns will be more accurate. That's reduced by 91 meters down to 167. And this is set up for a close range, kind of brawling setup. Your max firing range with this burst fire mode will be 12 kilometers. Now your AP is also increased in damage to 12,600. Your shell speed is also improved by 40 meters per second to 910 meters per second. And you'll fire then 2 salvos in quick succession. So, high explosive, armor piercing, very strong HE, very good fire chance, 32mm or 32% chance of setting a fire.
Dracula _ aka House Reaper just subscribed with Prime.
Secondary battery. You get 6 of these twin mounted 100mm. So 12 100mm guns in total. Some of these they're in quite a weird position. Actually, one is, yeah, it seems much higher than the rest. This one. Quite high on the superstructure for a secondary battery gun. Normally this is more of a spot for anti-aircraft guns, but it is also dual purpose, so I guess. You also get 12 of these single mounted 140mm guns. 12 of these. Firing range is 8.8 kilometers. Is it the 100mm of the DD? Essentially, yes. 30mm a pen. 1000 meters per second. So, essentially, yes. So, secondary battery, 8.8 kilometers in range total. Airstrike, you get 10 kilometers in range. 30-second reload. And 2 available flights, 2 bombs per drop, and a max bomb damage of 4,200. Yeah, those are very good secondary guns. Those 100mm. They're essentially the same guns you get on Akazuki, Kitakaze, and Haragumo. It's that type of main caliber, 100mm caliber. AA defense, we are looking at 15 of these 25mm guns, mounted primarily here on the deck. 10 triple mounted 25mm, they're primarily on the superstructure. 12 twin mounted 40mm on the deck mostly, and the secondary battery that we were just discussing, these 100mm guns, all dual purpose. All combined, they pump out a continuous average damage of 263, 6 shell explosions per flak salvo, with a max damage of 1470 priority sector reinforcement 35%, and the max firing range is 5.8 kilometers. In terms of maneuverability, take off the flag quickly. 30 knots is your base speed with the Sierra Mike signal flag. 31.5. Turning circle radius of 880 meters. Rudder shift time of 16.2. With the steering gears mod, that is 12.9 seconds. So finally, stats wise, concealment of 12.2 kilometers. You'll be surface detected by submarines and aircraft at 9.5 kilometers. So this is the Hotaka, the new Tier 9 Japanese experimental ship that has access to the burst fire mode and modified shells. More experimental ships. More experimental ships. Okay, so remember, this is a test ship. This is an experimental test ship even. The Hotaka. Tier 9 Japanese experimental ship.